Marriage, your sanctuary, your refuge, right? Can twist into a silent slaughterhouse where you're bleeding out before you even clock the fight. Especially when your wife's a narcissist, a crownless tyrant clutching her scepter of self-obsession, her heart a slab of ice that frees a winter storm. Narcissism isn't some puffed-up pride, it's a jagged edge, carving through your every feeling, leaving gashes that don't show but throb deep, and you, the husband, only catch it when you're spent, reeling, wondering how you faded into a wisp next to the woman who vowed to stand by you. She doesn't love you. She loves the shine you give her, a mirror to buff her flawless facade, and when that glass clouds, she'll shatter it. You without a flinch, chasing a glossier reflection. Don't fool yourself, this isn't some unicorn tale. These wives don't barge in with horns blazing or shrieks ringing. They glide in with velvet grins, quiet demands, and snares you only see when you're snagged, sinking in a game she rigged from the start. Imagine this. You give your all, she sneers, not enough. You seek a crumb of warmth, she turns her back, your hurt spare change to her. You reach to be you, she casts you as her lackey in the epic she writes and headlines. This video's your wake-up, a two-part map through her maze. Part 1, starting now, lays bare 7 raw truths you'll endure with a narcissistic wife. Petty digs to soul-deep dents. So you know you're not mad, not frail, just tangled in her script where she's the star, you're the stagehand. Part 2 flips the lens. How to face her head-on with Stoicism's steel, because spotting her moves is step 1, but standing tall is the win. She won't shift, but you can see. And that's your first grip on the reins. Thanks for tuning into Victory's Stoic. If this rings true, like, share, subscribe, and hit us with a comment. I'm done being the prop, plus your glimpse of her game. We're here to guide you back to your ground. Number 1, playing the victim, turning his truth into her tears. Oh, cue the waterworks maestro, because here comes the Oscar-worthy performance of the century. Playing the victim isn't just a trick up her sleeve, it's the whole damn wardrobe, and your narcissistic wife's got it down to an art form. Turning every legit gripe you've got into a personal assault so she can sob, "You're so mean," and slither out of any accountability like a snake shedding skin. You think you're having a conversation, airing something real. Maybe she forgot your birthday again or spent the rent money on a spa day, but before you can blink, she's flipped the script. Eyes welling up, voice trembling, and suddenly you're the monster, not the guy who's been stepped on. It's not about fixing the problem, it's about her dodging it, painting herself as the wounded doe while you're left holding the rifle, wondering how you went from husband to villain in 3 seconds flat. Respect? She's not giving it, she's stealing it, leaving you dazed and guilty for daring to speak up, because in her world, her tears trump your truth every time. Let's set the stage with example 1. Meet Tim, a regular guy who's been married to Lisa for 5 years. And last week was their anniversary. Except Lisa forgot it, too busy posting selfies at a yoga retreat she needed for her mental health. Tim, hurt but calm, waits till she's home, says, "Hey, I was kind of bummed you missed our anniversary, it's a big deal to me." Reasonable, right? Nope. Lisa's eyes go wide, then misty. Her lip quivers like she's auditioning for a melodrama. "You're so mean. Do you know how stressed I've been? I can't believe you'd attack me like this." Tim's jaw drops. He's not attacking, he's sharing, but she's off, sobbing about how unappreciated she is, how everything's always about you. Psychologically, Tim's gut twists. He wanted connection, not conflict, and now he's the bad guy, his valid hurt flipped into her victimhood. His brain's scrambling. Did I overreact? Am I selfish? Meanwhile, Lisa's co-workers who saw her retreat pics would have shrugged at Tim's complaint. Yeah, she flaked, so what? But in her tear-streaked rewrite, they buy her poor me act, leaving Tim second-guessing his own feelings. He shuts up, apologizes even, and she wins. Problem dodged, respect lost, because her tears drowned his voice. Example 2. Picture Jake, married to Sarah, who's got a habit of maxing out their joint card on designer bags. Last month, it was $800 on a purse while Jake's scraping by to cover bills. He sits her down, keeps it cool. "Sarah, we can't keep spending like this. It's stressing me out. We need a plan." Fair, right? Wrong. Sarah's face crumples. Tears spill like a faucet. "You're so cruel, Jake. I work hard too. Why can't I have nice things? You don't care about me." Jake's stunned. His plea for teamwork's now an attack, and she's wailing like he's banished her to a dungeon. Inside, Jake's reeling. His stress is real, the numbers don't lie, but her sobs twisted into he's controlling, and he's left wondering if he's the jerk. Sarah's sister, who'd probably tell Jake, "Dude, she's reckless, you're right," wouldn't see this scene. She'd get Sarah's version. "He yelled at me over a bag," and nod sympathetically, while Jake's friends, if they overheard, would cringe at her theatrics, muttering, "She's milking it." But Jake? He's stuck, his point buried under her victim act, and he mumbles, "Okay, let's drop it," because fighting tears feels like punching a ghost, pointless, draining, and she walks away scot-free, his respect chipped down another notch. Psychologically, this is a mind-bender. She's not just crying, she's weaponizing it, and it's a gut punch to anyone watching. Tim's not wrong. Lisa flaked, it hurt, but her tears flip his reality, leaving him doubting his right to feel, his confidence eroding as he wonders, am I too harsh? Jake's not controlling, Sarah's spending's reckless, but her poor me routine shifts the blame, and his frustration morphs into guilt. Maybe I should have let it go. Others, friends, family, might see through her if they saw raw data. Lisa's retreat pics, Sarah's receipts, but her sob story's a fog machine, clouding truth, and they're stuck. Tim's coworkers or Jake's buddies might whisper she's full of it, but in the moment, her act's a shield, deflecting accountability while their respect for her and his for himself takes a hit. She's not vulnerable, she's invincible, because tears don't just dodge, they disarm, and you're left holding a smoking gun you didn't fire. Why does this shred respect so fast? Humans see through fake fragility, eventually, but in the heat, it's a trap. Tim and Jake don't want to be mean, so they cave, and she banks on that, turning their decency into her dodge. It's not strength, it's cowardice dressed in Kleenex, and they feel it deep down, even if they can't name it yet. She's not a victim, she's a victor, and they're the collateral damage, their voices silenced by her script. Number 2, belittling his efforts, shrinking his wins to keep him small. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen, to the grand circus of diminishment, where your narcissistic wife takes the stage as the ringmaster of nothing you do is good enough, cracking her whip to slash every shred of effort you've poured out, be it a hard-earned promotion or scrubbing the kitchen till it shines, into bite-sized crumbs of meh. Also, she can keep you tethered to the low rung she's carved out for you. Because in her twisted little kingdom, your victories aren't applause-worthy, they're threats, and she'll be damned if she lets you outshine her spotlight. You think you're bringing home a win, chest puffed with a flicker of pride, and she's there with her verbal sledgehammer. Oh, that promotion? Big whoop, anyone could have gotten it. Or, you cleaned, could have done it better, turning your gold into gravel before you can even set it down. This isn't just dismissal, it's demolition, a calculated gut punch to keep you small and respect. She's not handing it over, she's burying it under her smirks, leaving you wondering why you bothered trying at all. Let's roll the tape on example 1. Meet Dave, a decent guy who's been grinding at his sales job for years, and last Friday, he lands a promotion. Team leader, corner desk, a bump in pay he's been chasing since the kids were in diapers. He comes home buzzing, "Babe, I got the promotion, I've been killing it for this," expecting maybe a hug, a "proud of you" something. But his wife Karen barely looks up from her phone, snorts, "Oh, that? It's not like it's CEO, anyone could have snagged it with your hours." Dave's balloon pops, his grind, the late nights, the stress, all flattened into no big deal by her casual flick of the wrist. Psychologically, he's reeling. His pride's a pinata, and she's swinging. He wanted her to see him, not shrink him. Inside, he's churning. Does she think I'm nothing? Was it not enough? His buddy at work, Mike, who high-fived him earlier, would have jaw-dropped at Karen's jab. Dude, you earned that. But Dave's not at the bar, he's home, deflating, while Karen's sister might nod at her version. He's overreacting, it's just a job. Dave's not mad, he's hurt, doubting if his sweat even matters, and Karen's won, his shine's dulled, her throne's safe. Example 2, flip to Rob, married to Jen, who's been juggling work and home like a circus act, and tonight, he tackles the kitchen. Dishes scrubbed, counters gleaming, trash out, because Jen's been griping about no help. He's proud, calls her over. "Check it out, I got it all done." Jen strolls in, scans it like a health inspector, shrugs. Could have been better. The sink's still streaky, and you missed a spot. Rob's gut drops, his hour of elbow grease, his "I've got your back" moment, shredded into "not good enough" with a flick of her tongue. Psychologically, he's sinking. His effort was a peace offering, not a test, but she's graded it an F, and he's left thinking, why'd I bother? Nothing's ever right. His mom, who'd have hugged him for pitching in, would balk. She's nuts. It's spotless. But Jen's friend might buy her spin. He's sloppy. I'd say the same. Rob's not arguing. He's retreating, his spark snuffed, because Jen's jab isn't feedback, it's a power play, keeping him low while she looms large, and his respect's a casualty she doesn't even notice. Why does this sting so deep? Psychologically, effort's a currency. Dave's promotion, Rob's clean kitchen are coins of worth he's tossing out, hoping for a nod, a connection, but she's not cashing them. She's tossing them in the trash, and that rejection cuts. Dave's not delusional, his win's real, but Karen's meh rewires his brain to question it, his confidence fraying as he wonders, am I a fraud? Rob's not lazy. Jen's kitchen gripes got action, but her better digs a hole, and he's falling in, second-guessing if he's capable at all. Others might see it. Mike's "you're killing it," Mom's "you're a saint," but in her orbit their voices fade, and her dismissal's the loudest, a siren of "you're less." Friends or family might pity Dave, shrug at Rob, but they're not there when the knife twists, and she's banking on that. Her belittling's a leash, tugging him back every time he dares rise, and they're not cheering, they're checking out, because nobody roots for a guy who's perpetually not enough in her eyes. This isn't critique, it's control, a narcissistic flex to keep her pedestal pristine. She's not building you up, she's breaking you down, and every "could have been better" is a brick in her wall, not yours. Dave's promotion isn't small, it's his blood and sweat. Rob's kitchen isn't streaky, it's his care, but she'll never see it, because admitting your worth risks her reign. Respect dies here, not because you failed, but because she needs you to feel like you did, and that's the trap. You're not the problem, her lens is, and she's got you wearing it. Number 3, never taking your side. Stabbing you in the back with a smile. Oh, gather round, loyal husbands, for the fairy tale where your wife's supposed to be your ride or die, your partner in crime, except she's swapped that script for a dagger and a grin, because never taking your side isn't just her default setting, it's her battle cry. And in every argument, every awkward moment, every public showdown, she's not beside you, she's against you, gleefully swinging the axe to chop you down while she basks in the applause. You think she's your teammate, your "we're in this together" co-captain, but nah, she's the rival captain, and you're the punching bag she's dressed up as darling, always ready to contradict you, undermine you, or toss you under the bus with a sugary "oh, he's just like that" that's sharp enough to draw blood. She doesn't care about unity, she craves victory, her ego's the prize. And if that means painting you as the fool, the screw-up, the punching line, so be it, because in her world, respect's a solo trophy, and she's not sharing it with you, no matter how cleverly she cloaks her jabs. Let's cue example 1. Picture Mike, married to Tara, at a dinner party with friends. Nice vibe, wine flowing, until the topic of a recent car repair bill comes up. Mike says, "Yeah, I told the mechanic we didn't need the extra tune-up. Saved us a couple $100. Reasonable, right?" Tara's eyes gleam. She leans in with a laugh. "Oh, Mike, you're so clueless. You should have listened to me. We'll be back there next week when it breaks down again." The table chuckles. Mike's gut sinks. His call was solid. The car's fine, but she's turned it into Mike's an idiot theater, and she's the star. Psychologically, he's gutted. Not just the jab, but her siding with the room over him, his stance shredded publicly. Inside, he's reeling. Why's she against me? I thought we were a team. His buddy Tom, who knows cars, might have backed Mike. Good move, man. But Tara's spin lands first, and now Tom's quiet, wondering if Mike's really that dumb. The others smirk, half pitying, half amused, and Mike's not mad. He's humiliated. His trust in her as an ally crumbling while she soaks up the smarter spouse glow, her win built on his fall. Example 2. Flip to Sam and Lisa at a family barbecue. Sam's recounting a spat with his boss. "I told him the deadline was nuts, stood my ground, proud he didn't cave." Lisa, flipping burgers nearby, chimes in with a syrupy smile. "Oh, Sam, you're so dramatic. He's just stubborn, always making things harder than they need to be." The relatives laugh. Sam's jaw tightens. His stand was gutsy, not dumb, but she's flipped it into Sam's the problem, and in front of his own kin. Psychologically, he's floored. His moment of strength's now a joke, and she's not his shield, she's the spear, skewering him for laughs. His brain spinning. She's supposed to back me, not bury me. What's this? His cousin Jen, who'd have high-fived him, bosses suck, good for you, freezes mid-bite, caught between nodding and not, stirring Lisa's pot, while Uncle Dave snickers, buying her poor Lisa, stuck with stubborn Sam act. Sam's not arguing. He's shrinking, his faith in her as a partner torched, because Lisa's not here to lift him. She's here to win, and his stupidity is her stepping stone. Why does this slice so deep? Psychologically, it's betrayal with a cherry on top. Mike and Sam aren't asking for blind loyalty, just a shred of we're us. But she's not wired for that. Her narcissism demands she's the hero, you're the foil, and every clash is her stage. Mike's not wrong, the car's running, but Tara's "you're clueless" rewires his trust, leaving him doubting if she's ever in his corner. His confidence dented as he wonders, does she even like me? Sam's not dramatic, his boss fight was real, but Lisa's stubborn tag flips his grit into a flaw, and he's questioning, am I the ass here? Others see it too. Tom might have backed Mike, Jen might have cheered Sam, but her public takedown shifts the vibe. They're not defending, they're distancing, because who sticks up for the guy whose wife won't? She's not just opposing, she's orchestrating. Her sweet jab's a masterclass in control, and they're not laughing with you, they're laughing at you. Her victory lap leaving your respect in the dust. This isn't partnership, it's a power grab. Her refusal to stand with you in neon sign, I'm above you. She doesn't care about us, she craves me, and every time she picks the crowd over you, she's not just winning, she's erasing you. Her clever digs a spotlight on your flaws to keep hers dim. Mike's save, Sam's stand, they're solid, but she'll never admit it because your strength's her kryptonite, and she'd rather see you stumble than share the win. Number 4, destroying emotions at key moments, turning joy into her battlefield. Gather round, folks, for the emotional demolition derby, where your narcissistic wife dons her crown as the queen of chaos, swinging a wrecking ball through your happiest moments. Be it Christmas lights twinkling or a kid's fleeting smile. Because nothing says, I'm in charge, like turning joy into ash and watching you scramble to salvage the scraps. She's not just oblivious, she's a sniper, sharp as a tack, sniffing out your soft spots like a bloodhound. And when the stakes are high, family harmony, a milestone, a memory, she pounces, shredding your feelings and everyone else's with a precision that make a dictator blush, all to keep her throne intact. You think these big days are for bonding? Nope. They're her stage, and she'll scream, guilt trip, or twist the knife until you're all bowing, because her brilliance isn't in building, it's in breaking, and respects the first casualty when she turns your holiday cheer into her personal war zone. Example 1. Meet Tom, a soft-hearted dad who lives for Christmas. Tree up, kids laughing, wife happy, the whole Norma Rockwell fantasy. And this year he's planned it all. Gifts wrapped, turkey prepped, just wanting one day of peace. Enter Claire, his narcissistic wife, who smells his hope like chum in the water. Christmas Eve hits and she's off, screaming about the ugly decorations he spent hours on. You call this festive? It's a joke. Then bullying him over the ham, too dry. Can't you do anything right? Tom's gut knots. He'd swallow a coal mine to keep the kids smiling, so he bites his tongue. Okay, I'll fix it. But she ramps up, slamming doors, snapping at his pathetic efforts, knowing he won't snap back with the family watching. Psychologically, he's crumbling. His dream's a punching bag, and she's the champ. He's not mad, he's gutted, thinking, why can't she let us have this? The kids freeze, their joy snuffed. Daughter Mia's eyeing the tree, wondering if Dad's okay is a lie. Son Jake's hiding his gift, scared to spark round 2. Grandma, who'd have hugged Tom for trying, mutters, she's too much, but Claire's tantrum wins. Tom silenced, his Christmas trashed, her power flexing over his surrender. Example 2. Zoom to the kids. Same house, different day. Claire's got her radar locked. Mia, 14, adores a pop star. Posters plastered, humming tunes while dodging chores, and Claire's got her ammo. That singer's trash, talentless, ugly, you're dumb for liking her, cutting Mia where it stings, then swooping in. If you were smart, you'd clean instead of wasting time on that garbage. Mia's eyes sting. She's not just hurt, she's hooked. Her idol's her escape, and Claire's ripped it, so she scrubs the sink, not out of duty but defeat, her spark dimmed. Then there's Jake, 12, still raw from losing his dog. Claire accidentally let it loose, a car hit it, and nobody blamed her, but she knows his guilt's a lever. He's quiet, missing buddy, and she strikes. That mutt wasn't worth crying over. Stupid animal, good riddance, twisting his grief into, "You're weak," her voice dripping with, "I'm above this," while she dodges her own shame. Jake's chest caves. He's not mourning, he's drowning, thinking, was I wrong to love him? Because her jabs a boot on his neck, and he's too young to fight back. Psychologically, this is devastation with a scalpel. Tom's not dreaming big, just a merry night. But Claire's screams flip his hope into failure, leaving him questioning, am I screwing this up? His silence isn't peace, it's surrender. His spirit bruised as he wonders why she hates his joy. Mia's not lazy, her idol's her lifeline, but Claire's mockery turns admiration into shame, and her compliance isn't respect, it's collapse, her confidence gouged. Jake's not weak, his dog was his world, but Claire's worthless jab reopens the wound, and his silence is fear, not healing. His trust in her as mom, shredded. The family sees it. Grandma's pitying Tom, Mia's friends might scoff at Claire's venom, Jake's teacher might note his slump, but in her orbit, they're mute, because her tantrums and barbs aren't chaos, they're control, and they're not rallying, they're recoiling, their faith in her, or him, fading as she wields their pain like a trophy. Why does this gut respect so hard? Humans lean on big moments, Christmas, passions, pets, for meaning, and she's not just missing it, she's mining it. Her smart's a curse that spots your Achilles heel and strikes. Tom's not asking for a medal, just a smile, but her bullying turns his effort into evidence he's less, and he's not a partner, he's prey. Mia and Jake aren't rebels, their loves are pure, but her manipulation bends them into tools, and they're not kids, they're pawns. Their spirit's collateral in her I'm better game. She's not clumsy, she's cunning, ruining joy to reign, and respect bleeds out when she'd rather see you break than bloom, because your happiness is her enemy, and she's damn good at winning that war. Number 5. Isolating him from everyone. Using his treasures as her trampoline. Welcome to the isolation chamber, where your narcissistic wife plays puppet master with a grin, snipping every thread tying you to friends, family, and sanity, not with a blunt, you can't see them, but with a slyer, nastier trick, dangling the things you hold dear like your kids or your self-respect as bait to bounce you right into her cage, because she's not just cutting you off, she's turning your own heart into her launch pad, and you're too busy dodging guilt to notice the door's locked. She's not content with you loving her. She needs you, needing her, alone, her little island prisoner, and she'll weaponize your deepest treasures to make it happen, twisting your "I'd do anything for my family" into "I'll do anything for her," all while she smirks like she's won the lottery. Respect? She's not earning it, she's erasing it, leaving you a lone wolf who doesn't even howl anymore, because she's got you convinced the pack's the enemy, and she's your only shore. Example 1. Meet Greg, a dad who'd walk through fire for his 2 girls, Lily and Emma, and loves his Friday beers with his old college crew. Nothing wild, just laughs and sanity after a long week. His wife Nina spots this lifeline and sharpens her claws. One night, Greg's grabbing his jacket, heading out, back by 10, and Nina's eyes narrow, voice dripping honeyed venom. "Oh sure, abandon us. The girls will be so sad Daddy doesn't care. I guess I'll tell them you'd rather drink than tuck them in." Greg freezes. His kids are his world, and she knows it. He's not abandoning, he's recharging, but her jab twists his love into guilt, and he's picturing Lily's pout, Emma's "Where's Daddy?" Psychologically, he's gutted. His joy's now a crime, and he's stammering, "Okay, I'll stay," while Nina sighs, "Good choice, her trap's sprung." His buddy Dave texts, "You coming?" But Greg's off, tucking in kids who'd have been fine, his lifeline severed. Dave's confused, he's whipped. And Greg's mom, who'd cheer his break, fades from the chat because Nina's "for the kids" line keeps him home, alone with her. His self-respect a stepping stone she's trampling. Example 2. Flip to Paul, tight with his sister and parents, a guy who prides himself on being steady, reliable, self-respects his backbone. His wife Rachel hates sharing him, so she crafts her move. Paul's planning a Sunday with his folks. Been a while, gonna grill with mom and dad. And Rachel pounces, voice soft but lethal. Wow, I guess I'm not enough for you. If you'd rather run to them than fix things here, you're not the man I thought. Paul's chest tightens. She's hit his pride, his I'm a good husband core, and twisted his family time into betrayal. He's not escaping, he's connecting, but her not enough stabs deep and he's reeling. Does she think I'm failing her? Am I weak? He cancels. Sorry, Mom, next time. And Rachel purrs. I knew you'd choose us. Her us, meaning her, not them. His sister texts. You okay? She senses the shift, but Paul's quiet, his dignity her leverage, and his parents fade, puzzled. He's distant, while Rachel's isolated him, his pride now her pedestal. Psychologically, this is a chokehold with velvet gloves. Greg's not a deadbeat, his friends are his oxygen, but Nina's sad girl's ploy flips his fatherly love into chains, leaving him doubting, am I selfish? His surrender isn't peace, it's prison, his spirit fraying as he wonders why funds a felony. Paul's not disloyal, his family's his rock, but Rachel's not enough. Cracks his self-image and he's scrambling, am I letting her down? His retreat isn't choice, it's coercion, his worth her tool, and he's not a partner, he's a captive. Others see it. Dave's whipped quip hides worry, Paul's sister's you okay masks hurt, but her manipulation's a fog, clouding their reach, and they're not pulling him back, they're drifting, because she's not just isolating, she's rewriting him. And they're not abandoning, they're losing him to her script. Why does this shred respect so raw? Humans thrive on bonds. Greg's beers, Paul's grill days are lifelines, not luxuries. And she's not just cutting them, she's using his soul to do it. Her smart's a blade that finds your pulse and presses. Greg's not wrong, his kids won't crumble, but her guilt turns his strength into shame. And he's not a dad, he's her drone. Paul's not failing, his family's gold, but her weak man dart bends his pride into her cage. And he's not a rock, he's rubble. She's not clumsy, she's calculated, wielding kids and dignity like chess pieces, and respect bleeds out when she'd rather see you solo than supported, because your connections threaten her reign, and she'll burn them down with your own fire to keep you hers. Number 6, controlling the narrative, spinning you into the villain of her tale. Step into the storyteller's lair, where your narcissistic wife wields her silver tongue like a maestro of mayhem, conducting a symphony of lies that twist every spat into a blockbuster, where you're the snarling beast and she's the dainty damsel, bopping mayo every argument before friends, kids, or family, until you're the reckless, shouting idiot, and she's the saint who tried so hard, because controlling the narrative isn't just her hobby, it's her superpower. And she'll rewrite reality faster than you can say, that's not what happened, leaving you dazed, despised, and doubting your own memory. You think you've got a voice? Think again. She's the scriptwriter, director, and star, and you're the bumbling villain in her Oscar reel. Her distortions so slick they'd fool a courtroom, all to keep her halo shiny while your respect sinks into the mud she's shoveled. She's not debating, she's dictating, and you're the fall guy every time. Example 1. Picture Dan, a steady guy at a barbecue with friends, beers out, vibes good, until his wife, Laura, starts needling him about his mom. Your mother's so nosy, always meddling, right in earshot. Dan, fed up after weeks of this, snaps back. Stop it, Laura, that's my mom, enough. Voice raised but not a scream. Fair, right? Nope. Laura's eyes dart, she spins to their pals. See, he's always yelling at me, so rude, I was just chatting politely and he loses it. The friends, Mark, Jen, blink, jaws slack. Dan's now the jerk who screamed, not the guy defending his mom. Psychologically, he's floored, his truth's flipped. He wasn't raging, just firm, but Laura's poor me paints him as unhinged, and he's thinking, did I overdo it? Am I the ass? Mark, who'd have shrugged. She was harsh, Dan's fine. Buys her act, man, chill out. While Jen nods, she's so sweet, why snap? They're not siding with him, they're swallowing her tail, and Dan's not arguing, he's reeling. His respect torched as Laura's victim, glow blinds them all. Example 2. Fast forward to a family dinner. Dan's folks, their kids, cozy vibes, until Laura, mid-mashed potatoes, smirks. Dan's mom thinks she's Martha Stewart, but her cooking's a mess, loud enough for all. Dan's blood boils. His mom's right there, so he growls, Laura, cut it out, that's disrespectful. Tone sharp, but not a roar. Truth's on his side, but Laura's wheels spin. She turns to the table, eyes misty. He's so awful, yelling at me again. I was just joking, and he attacks me like this. The kids, Mia 10 and Max 8, stare wide-eyed. Mia's thinking, Daddy's mean, Max is shrinking. Why's he mad? Dan's parents freeze. Mom's hurt, Dad's confused. But Laura's he shouted rewrite lands. And Mom mutters, Dan, calm down, buying the polite wife bit. Psychologically, Dan's gutted. His defense of his mom's now aggression, and he's spinning. Was I too loud? Did I ruin this? His sister, off at college, might have said, Laura's out of line. But here, the clan swayed. Laura's the martyr, Dan's the brute, and his kids' trust wavers. Her control cemented over his wreckage. Why does this gut you so hard? Psychologically, it's a hijacking. She's not just lying, she's stealing your story, and that's a mind twist. Dan's not dumb or careless, his mom's no saint, but Laura's barbs were cruel. Yet he yelled, flips his stand into folly, leaving him questioning. Am I the bad guy? His anger's justified, but her victim act gaslights him, and he's not sure what's real. Friends like Mark aren't blind. Laura's jab was low, but her spin's so smooth they doubt Dan's side. Their chill out a reflex to her tears, not his truth. The kids aren't wrong. Mia's mean daddy and Max's flinch are kid logic. But her distortion plants seeds, and they're not hugging him, they're wary. Her poor me a wedge. Family's worse. Mom's calm down stings. She'd defend herself if she knew, but Laura's tale trumps, and Dad's silence signals, you're off, not she's wrong. They're not rejecting, they're reprogrammed, and Dan's not a protector. He's a pariah, his respect shredded by her script. This isn't a spat, it's a setup. Her smart's a weapon to warp reality, and she's not sloppy. She's surgical, knowing your yelling brute label sticks while her polite mask shines. Dan's not awful, he's human, but she needs him awful, because if he's the villain, she's the saint, and every he's so rude she plants is a brick in her wall, keeping you low, her high. She's not arguing, she's annihilating, and respects the corpse she buries under her poor me crown, because in her tale, you're never right, and she's never wrong. Number 7, overreacting to criticism, turning a whisper into a war. Brace yourself, brave soul, for the fireworks extravaganza nobody ordered, because your narcissistic wife's got a hair trigger on her ego, and the slightest whiff of criticism, say a gentle, maybe save a bit, sets off a tantrum or tear fest so epic you'd think you'd stabbed her with a pitchfork instead of nudged her with a feather, and before you can blink, she spun it back on you, the villain who dared question her flawless reign. She's not just sensitive, she's a live wire, and any hint you've got a point, like dinner's a tad salty, hon, isn't a suggestion, it's a declaration of war. Her pride a sacred temple you've just graffitied, and she'll rage, sob, or both, then twist the knife to make you the monster. Because in her universe, critique's not feedback, it's treason, and she'll burn the kingdom down to prove she's untouchable. Respect? She's not earning it. She's torching it, leaving you shell-shocked, apologizing for a crime you didn't commit. Example 1. Meet Phil, a chill guy who's been with Tara for a decade, and tonight's dinner's a salt lick. Think ocean brine, not a meal. Phil, ever the diplomat, smiles. Hey babe, this is a bit salty. Maybe you grabbed salt instead of sugar? No biggie. Polite, right? A peace offering, not a punch. Wrong. Tara's eyes flash like he slapped her. How dare you? I slaved over this, and you criticize me. She shrieks, then storms off, slamming pots, tears streaming. You're so ungrateful. I can't believe you'd attack me like that. Phil's stunned. His no biggie is now a felony, and she's raging like he's burned her cookbook collection. For a month, she's a broken record. Remember when you insulted my cooking, dragging their kids into it? Your dad thinks I'm a failure. Guess you got my careless DNA over a meal nobody else cared about. Psychologically, Phil's reeling. His calm nudges a landmine, and he's thinking, was I rude? Is this my fault? The kids, Mia, 12, and Max, 9, shrink. Mia's mom's mad again vibe kicks in. Max wonders, am I careless too? Tara's friend might have laughed. It's just salt. But her he attacked me spin lands, and Phil's not defending. He's deflating, his respect shredded as she turns a pinch into a plague. Example 2. Flip to Mark and Lisa, out shopping. Mark's paycheck's tight, so he ventures, soft as a breeze. Hey love, maybe we ease up on spending this month? Reasonable, right? A team play, not a takedown. Nope. Lisa's face twists. Are you calling me irresponsible? She snaps, voice cracking, tears welling. I do everything for this family, and you throw it in my face. She's off. A hurricane of, you don't appreciate me, leaving Mark in the aisle, jaw dropped. His ease up is now an indictment, and she's sobbing like he's bankrupted her soul. Days later, she's still at it. He accused me of ruining us, to her mom, who'd have nodded at Mark. Smart move, but buys Lisa's poor me instead. Psychologically, Mark's sinking, his suggestion's a grenade, and he's muttering, "Did I mess up? Am I too harsh?" His brother, who'd back him, "She's wild," fades from the chat, and Mark's not pushing, he's pulling back, his voice muted, her overreaction a wall he can't climb, respect crumbling under her victim crown. Why does this shred so deep? Psychologically, it's a hijack. Phil's not cruel, his salty note's a blip, but Tara's meltdown flips it into betrayal, leaving him doubting, am I the jerk? His intent's lost, her careless DNA dragnet pulls the kids, Mia's wary, Max is confused, and their trust phrase, not from salt, but her storm. Mark's not shaming, his ease up is survival, but Lisa's tears turn thrift into an assault, and he's questioning, do I hurt her? Others might see it, Tara's friend, Mark's brother, but her he-attacked tale drowns them, and they're not defending, they're detaching, because her explosion's a fog, clouding truth. She's not fragile, she's fortified, her overreaction a shield, and they're not rallying, they're recoiling, their faith in him, and her, eroding as she drags a molehill into a mountain. This isn't sensitivity, it's strategy. Her smart's a whip that lashes at critique, and she's not sloppy, she's savage. Knowing you're sorry keeps her high. Phil's nudge, Mark's whisper, they're fair, but she'll never nod, because admitting fault cracks her throne, and she'd rather sob for a month, roping the kids, than let you stand tall. Respect dies when she'd rather see you crawl than correct. Her tears and rage a cage where your voice and worth rot. Conclusion, the first step to seeing her clearly. There you have it, 7 ways a narcissistic wife turns your world upside down. Belittling your wins, twisting your words, demanding your all while giving nothing, isolating you from your roots, rewriting your pain, refusing to bend, shattering your confidence, ignoring your cries, stealing your spotlight, and ruling through chaos. Each move's a thread in her web, pinning you as the prop in her one-woman show, draining your kids, your spirit, your space. This isn't just a list, it's a mirror, reflecting her game so you can finally say, I'm not crazy, I'm caught. Part 1's your wake-up, peeling back her mask to show the narcissist beneath, cold, calculated, unyielding. But it's not the end. Part 2's coming, and it's loaded. Practical, Stoic-powered tools to face her head-on. Not just survive her storm, but stand tall through it, even when leaving's not on the table yet. We'll arm you with moves, sharp, safe, real, to reclaim your ground, because knowing her tactics is the spark, but mastering your strength is the fire. This is your first stride, seeing her for what she is. Stay with us, because the next chapter's where you shift the tide. Thank you for watching Victory Stoic. Your time here means we're in this together, peeling back the layers to build something stronger. If this hit home, like, share, subscribe, and drop a comment with I see her now, plus 1 way she's shown her true colors. Part 2's on the way. Don't miss how you turn her chaos into your calm. Let's keep this rolling, because you're not her shadow, you're your own light.